they begin to raise the issue. And as that issue gets raised, it starts to be revealed. And in being revealed, something can be healed. A primary characteristic of the nanosecond, of this time of acceleration, is to create a healing along the lines of time. What does that mean? A healing along the lines of time. We said earlier that the past is alive. Some of the pasts that are alive are filled with pain. They are filled with unresolved issues, traumas, violations. And of course, as you well know, this planet is engaged in one war and one act of destruction after another. From our perspective, one of the lessons that planet Earth offers you is to come here and to raise your consciousness to the place that you are unavailable for war, that you would not use violation to get your way or to resolve a situation. This is a true accomplishment of a soul spirit, to be able to rise above violence. This is a primary goal of the nanosecond, to lay down the need for violence. Violence can be imbued in the blood, so you can be born into a warrior family and be a peaceful soul. And this has happened often today. Everyone has been involved in war at one time or another, and everyone has been a warrior at one time or another. Once in a while there's the lone wolf soul who has never taken up arms. But in general, the passions of earth, the dramas of earth, call you to defend what you have. And of course, this is old. It goes far back before Atlantis, Lemuria, many other things. Earth is a training ground to some regard for spirits to learn to manage their energy, emotional energy, in a physical body. So the healing that all of you do, the ownership, the buck stops with me, I accept responsibility, and even if you have had no traumatic events in this lifetime, we guarantee you someplace along the lines of your lifetimes, there are violent events you have been involved in. When you forgive yourself and others, you release things. You neutralize the field, so to speak, and then when you really have good forgiveness and understanding and empathy around that forgiveness, you understand the bigger picture, you then enliven the field with vitality. When you heal in this now, any of your wounds, pains, misappropriations, whatever it is that you are looking at, as you accept responsibility, carry no grudges, resolve and heal. When we say carry no grudges, it means you have no vindication. I will get this person back. When you simply say, look at this pile of manure I have created here. What does Spirit want me to know? What does Spirit want me to know? Sometimes Spirit wants you to know more. To just get more efficient, to learn a whole new field of information. And when you get to the bigger picture, you start to feel connected to people, and you realize other people create these situations, and that if you can resolve yours, maintain your health, and get into a neutral state, and yet still find the reason for things, you can help others do the same. So, we said this time is about spiritual awakening and transformation. It's also about healing the fear that is accumulated within the human spirit. The fear of separation, the fear of powerlessness, the fear of random circumstances and violence coming out of nowhere. This is what you're all working on. And when you make these transformations quietly in your own presence, or discussing things with friends, or having a soul-to-soul talk with yourself, your victories are the victories of the human race. You contribute to the story of humanity's evolution. Never discount yourself and think that you are no one because no one knows your name or you don't have a profile on Facebook or something. Do you understand? Your profile is in the ethers. And no internet connection is ever going to outdo the ethers. So please be aware of these things and walk with a joy, walk with respect, and understand that the things you have to move involve a change in perspective, a change in attitude. And of course, attitude is another word for beliefs. And as you reach up and you start to feel connected from larger levels of being, then you'll start to find the significance and purpose of all events. And then, once you start healing and life is going well for you, the synchronicities really, really start to unfold and to lead you forward into let's say an era of higher consciousness. And as many project, there are many, many seers who foretell the beginning of a golden era, and that is a golden age. And one could say that from a larger perspective, you are closing down the last years of a period of darkness and ignorance, and you are building a bridge that will help, let's say, anchor in this golden era. Will you live to see the golden era flourish? We doubt that any of you are going to extend your lives by hundreds of years, but you certainly can line the nest for when you next come back, if you choose to come back. Do you understand? Yes, you're also quiet. All right, just a bit of wisdom there. Let's turn it over to you and see where you want to go. Who has a question, please?
Linda.
Linda, loud and clear, Linda.
As blood and cells retain memories.
Say it again, blood retains memory.
And the cells of the body.
And the cells of the body, and the soft tissue. Technically, body workers understand that if you manipulate the soft tissue of the body, that this is where memories are stored and they will start to come out. That is why when people have deep body work, sometimes they can vault off the table, sometimes they can burst out laughing, go into fear, go into crying, because someplace along the line a memory is stored. The memory can be from this lifetime and from other lifetimes. So yes, blood then again would also carry the memory.
So if a person has a transfusion, how long would the memory of that transfusion stay in the person who's had it?
It would be there as a registered memory, and because the, let's say, transfusion would be, let's say, a small transfusion, you're not going to have all of your blood replaced, do you understand, in general? Although someone that would lose a tremendous amount of blood and have a tremendous amount of blood put in them would be taking on a lot of someone else's energy. And if you had a lot of blood transfusions, it's pretty much guaranteed that all that blood's not going to come from one person. So you have a variety of blood that would be all compatible with the person's blood type, yet still all that blood would be imbued with knowledge. There have been people on the planet who were able to, when they saw blood, let's say violated blood, and they did not know what was going on or where the blood came from. Some people in times gone were able to run their hand over the top of the blood without touching it and psychometrize the blood, so to speak, know who it came from, know the story of the blood, and know why the blood was there. In other words, if someone was killed, the blood would tell the story. Others had the ability to put their finger in the blood and taste the blood, and the blood would tell them the story. Some could put the finger in the blood, put it on the third eye, the blood would tell them the story. That is a bit of a digression, but just to show you the powers inherent within the human form. So when someone gets a transfusion,